Aura, something defined by Google Gemini as someone's overall cool factor, their perceived stylishness, confidence, and overall charisma. But what TDS towers have the most aura? So today, I'll be ranking TDS towers based on their level of aura. Towers will be separated into 4 tiers: minimal aura, medium aura, high aura, and maximum aura. Let's get started with the tower with the least aura on this list, number 54, Farm. Its positives: it makes money, it's great for getting cash to make the game easier, but its negatives: it doesn't attack, it's just plants and trees, doesn't really look that cool, and it just sits there and doesn't do anything. So that is why the farm has the least aura. Number 53 is Paintballer. It has the best skin in the game, and it has some small splash damage, but it's one of the weakest towers in the game, and it's almost forgotten. It needs a rework so bad. Paintballer just, nobody uses it. At number 52, we have the Snowballer. It can freeze enemies, but that's about all it's good for. It's ugly, and snowballs are a bad weapon in the zombie apocalypse, and that's why Snowballer has some of the least aura. At number 51, we have the Archer. It can pierce through enemies, it can stun enemies, burn enemies, and it even has explosion arrows. But the devs couldn't even bother to fully rework it. It just got a mini rework, so it still looks old and ugly. If it looked better, it'd probably have more aura. At number 50, we have the Sentry. It has a pretty cool design, and it was alright at the time when it was in TDS, but it was removed from TDS, so that's minus 10k aura. At number 49, we have the Gladiator. The Dominus is really cool, and it's the OG event tower, but it's on sale every couple of months. It fell out of the meta after all the game mode reworks, and melee tower aura attacks. Melee towers have no aura. At number 48, starting off the medium aura tier, we have the War Machine. Its DPS is still pretty insane in present-day TDS, with around like 450 DPS, but it's an admin exclusive tower. It won't be added to the game, at least as we know of, and its design is really outdated. And at number 47, we have the other admin exclusive tower, the Mecha Base. It's a spawner tower, which is pretty cool and has a nice design, but it won't be added to the game. At number 46, we have the Hallow Punk. It's a really nice looking tower, I'll give it that, but it's just a clone of the Rocketeer. It's really weak, and it's the first tower to only have 3 levels, which is just really lame. At number 45, we have the Scout. It has tons of skins, and it's pretty cheap, but it's a free tower, and starter towers have no aura. At number 44, we have the Sniper. It outclasses the Scout, and it's a cliff tower, which gets plus 100 aura, but has trash skins. It's a free tower, and again, it's a starter tower, so it has no aura. At number 43, we have the Rocketeer. It's quad rockets, and it's a very explosive tower, but it's still really mid. Its skins are all also mid, except for the Ducky Rocketeer. It's outclassed by Mortar in almost every single way. At number 42, we have the Warden. It has good DPS, good stunning, and stun immunity, but it's a melee tower, and it's just too expensive. At number 41, we have the Firework Technician. It has insane support, and it's dripped out. The fireworks are so cool, but it has a small range, and it doesn't shoot fireworks itself. It makes other towers shoot fireworks. At number 40, we have the Elementalist. The fire and frost mechanic is really cool, and it has a unique design, but it's really mid at both the fire and the frost, and it's kind of ugly. At number 39, we have the Minigunner. It's a solid DPS tower and kind of the face of TDS besides one other tower, but it lost tons of aura after its rework, especially at max level. At number 38, we have the Gatling Gun. It has a first-person POV and the highest single DPS in the game for a tower, but it's been nerfed so much, and it only has a placement limit of 1. At number 37, we have the Pyromancer. It has great AoE, and it gains lots of aura throughout the years, but it looks very outdated, and that's why it has no aura. At number 36, we have the Freezer. It has decent freezing, and it gained lots of aura after its rework, but it's outclassed by most other stalling towers. At number 35, we have the Militant. It's solid all game and has decent DPS, but its animations are really stiff, and it's kind of a forgotten tower. Number 34, we have the Toxic Gunner. It has a cool design and some decent stalling, but it's bald, and I don't like the color green. At number 33, we have the Shotgunner. It's OP for speedruns, but has no good skins and falls off heavily after the early game. At number 32, we have the Soldier. It's cheap and it has okay DPS, but it's a starter tower and it shoots in a burst. At number 31, we have the Demoman. It has splash damage and lots of Riz, but it's a starter tower and has 0 throw power, and it's basically free now because of the tutorial. At number 30, we have the Hunter. It's the best starter tower, and it's just the sniper, but better, but it's a starter tower, and the bird died. At number 29, we have the Elf Camp. Ripped Elf absolutely carries this tower. Ripped Elf has so much aura, but the other elves bring down its aura, and it only has a placement limit of 2. At number 28, we have the Frost Blaster. It has very good freezing, and it can pierce enemies, and it looks pretty sick, but it's only good at freezing. At number 27, we have the Executioner. It has great throw power and can have insane DPS, but it has glitchy animations, and it's not very useful. At number 26, we have the Slasher. The Slasher absolutely radiates aura, and all its skins are amazing, but has no AoE, it's a melee tower, and it doesn't throw its knives anymore. At number 25, we have the Military Base. It's great all game, and its tanks are cool, but it has very inconsistent DPS. At number 24, we have the Medic. It has stun healing, and it can heal your base, but it needs a rework so bad. At number 23, we have the Trapper. It's actually pretty underrated and really useful in a lot of modes, but it's just inconsistent. At number 22, we have the Ace Pilot. It's good all game, it's stun immune, and has some great DPS, but it has to follow a specific path, which makes its targeting pretty bad. At number 21, we have the Commando. It also radiates aura just like the Slasher and has some pretty sick animations, but it's still pretty mid, and its rockets are really boring now. At number 20, we have the Harvester. It can pierce enemies, it has a unique design, and it even makes farm steal damage, but it still doesn't have any use cases and a horrible placement limit. Starting off the high aura tier, we have number 19, the Crook Boss. It can build up insane DPS, but because of the crooks, it's kind of inconsistent and it has a low placement limit. At number 18, we have the Necromancer. It can be really OP and it looks really sick, but it's inconsistent and really expensive. At number 17, we have the Sledger. It has great DPS and freezing, but it's expensive and it's a melee tower. At number 16, we have the Turret. It's actually a great DPS option and it's pretty useful, but it's really expensive and it looks outdated right now. At number 15, we have the Ranger. It's in the current meta. It has full map range most of the time and explosions at max level, but there's not always good cliff spots to put it. At number 14, we have the Jester. It's a great support option, but it fell out of the meta now that it can't confuse bosses. At number 13, we have the DJ booth. Banger music. It has discount, damage, and range buffs, but they need to give Masquerade DJ its own music. Anyways, at number 12, we have the Accelerator. It's still a great DPS tower, but it's no longer in the meta, and it has a negative stun immunity. At number 11, we have the Cryomancer. It's OP at freezing, and it's pretty cheap, but its early levels are kind of ugly. At number 10, we have the Mortar. It's the best crowd control tower right now, and it's in the meta, but it looks really outdated and has a low placement limit. At number 9, we have the Biologist. It's the most balanced event tower at release, and it's just okay at everything, I guess, but still really cool. At number 8, we have the Electroshocker. It has great stalling and crowd control, and it's like borderline a meta tower, but it has a really low placement limit. Now for our maximum aura tier, number 7, we have the Mercenary Base. It has an insane damage buff, and they got rid of the dynamic placement limit, but it's a really expensive tower. At number 6, we have the Brawler. It has 99 jump power, 99 strength, and currently the best early game tower, but it's a melee tower, which is what brings it down. At number 5, we have the Pursuit. It's currently the best DPS tower in the meta. It's also stun immune, but it needs a non-recolor skin. At number 4, we have the Engineer. It's good all game, and it has very good DPS, and it's also the first tower to have 6 levels, but it's hardly affected by support because of the sentries, and it's also very expensive to buy. At number 3, we have the Swarmer. It's the most overpowered tower of all time. It's absolutely insane, but it's about to receive like the biggest nerf in TDS history. Just a quick editor's note here, I actually recorded this before the Swarmer got nerfed, which is why Swarmer is still up here at number 3. At number 2, we have the Cowboy. It spins its gun, which gives it so much aura. It makes money for you while dealing DPS, but it's kind of weak, and doing Badlands 2 to get this is kind of difficult. And the tower with the most aura in Tower Defense Simulator is the Commander. He's the leader of TDS, gives a fire rate buff, and just radiates aura. And bro has no negatives. He is the definition of aura. And that was my ranking of every TDS tower based off of their aura. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment down below what you would change about my rankings. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this or any other suggestions that you have.